Hello. I'm Adam, the Learning Coach at abetterpianoteacher.com. This is How to Write a Song in 30 Years. I have written lots and lots of pop songs, jazz songs, and I typically play those myself on the piano, occasionally on the guitar, and I sing along. I'm also a classical composer, and I write scores for other people to perform of all different kinds, instrumental works. I've written for violin, for the trumpet, for the trombone, for the flute, all these different instruments. There's only one time in the history of my output that I've taken a classical type piece for guitar and performed it myself. And it was very, very early on. And it's this song, Birdsong, a very unusual song for me. I'm about 18 or 19. I'm not sure exactly how old I was, but I had a guitar and I was sort of trying to get better at it. And I had just learned this technique called hammering on. Hammering on is where you, instead of strumming the strings with your left hand, you bounce off the neck, and that creates a sound. You can actually play the guitar just by hammering on if you're good enough. Michael Hedges was maybe the best at that. But I had discovered it and I was exploring that as a writing technique, and I ended up writing this little song called Birdsong, which has a very Vivaldi kind of thing. It sounds kind of like a Vivaldi piece or something like that. And I had the nerve to perform it myself, partially because I thought it was fun. And, well, maybe that's the only reason, because I thought it was fun. I liked the piece and I wanted to see if I could get it down. I did get the whole thing down, but I had to do lots of punch-ins. Punch-ins are where you don't do one whole take of something. Most of my videos are single takes, as you can see. Occasionally I will edit them, and you would be able to see the edit because all of a sudden this would happen. Right, all of a sudden I jumped because I edited the video so you could see what a punch-in looks like. Ideally, punch-ins are supposed to be smooth and you're not supposed to see them or hear them. I was working with a Tascam 4-track cassette recorder, so punch-ins were the kind of thing where you didn't have a computer to help you. You were basically pushing record with a couple of buttons and hoping you could start playing as quickly. There was no way to edit. It wasn't a fancy situation where you had a razor blade and a piece of tape and you could cut and tape things together. Punch-ins were speed of light kind of things. And so you could typically hear punch-ins with a kind of a click. Like that's where you're pushing record and backing up quickly. So if you listen to Birdsong, you'll hear a bunch of little clicks, and those are the punch-ins. Nevertheless, guitars have a lot of clicks to them when you pick your fingers up off the strings. So the clicks don't sound particularly terrible in this piece. And so the ultimate lesson with Birdsong is that sometimes punch-ins are a really good thing. I'm a big believer in single takes when I can do them because the energy is there. There's a sort of start to finish thing that happens. It feels very real. And if you can get a good take, there's something more honest and exciting about a whole unvarnished take, but they're really hard to do. And once you start cutting and pasting, you kind of have to do it a lot to get a natural sound. Like you can't just cut once or twice in a track because you can tell that there's been a cut. Once you improve one little piece, you kind of have to improve all of them. So the question is that ethical? Most people, 98% of the world, think it is, and it's fine. But for those 2% of you who don't believe in punch-ins, there is a time and a place for them. And in this case, because I wasn't a very good guitar player, it really made the track sound like a piece of music instead of me just messing up a bunch of times, never recording it or never finishing it, or trying to find some other guitar player and begging them to do it for me. So if you're at all uncomfortable with the idea that you're not perfect and you need to do punch-ins, let me reassure you, it's perfectly fine, perfectly natural, and you'll end up with a great track. I hope you enjoy listening to Birdsong, and I'll see you next time.